Welcome.
Okay, fine. Let me recap what we discussed in yesterday class. So yesterday we discussed about file system management. Let me discuss about that and we'll extend that topic also. Okay, so we can create any folder with the help of mkdir. So we can just create so single folder or multiple folders at a time. So mkdir can allow us to create the multiple folders. So with the help of the mkdir, we can create one parent directory. So inside of that, we can create the multiple directories also, am I right? Okay. So mkdir allow us to create a long folder names. Okay. So the folder names a long, any lengthy folder names also. But a string you need to keep in a double quote. So whenever you use the ls command display a list of the files and folders. So if you use the tree command is going to be display the tree structure. So but the tree command is does not exist by default. You need to install that package. So by using apt. So use the apt package. Okay, so sudo apt. Okay, install tree. So we can just install that particular package. Okay. So you can see that tree structure of my current directory. Okay. So they have a subfolders. You can see that. So mkdir can help us to create the folders. rmdir can help us to remove the folders. Okay. So you can just remove with a pattern also. You can remove individual one also. Like I can mention the individual one also. You can remove with a parent structure also. Hyphen p, just how created, same way you have to remove that. So remove part. So mkdir can create the empty folder, rmdir can remove the empty folder. Okay. So now if you want to create the files, you can use the touch command. So you can just create any text file with a touch command. If you want to remove the text file, you can use the rm command. So rm command can help us to remove the files. So touch command you can create. So rm command you can remove. But I want to create the file with help of some content. I want to write some content into that file also. So touch will create the empty file, but I want with some message. Then I use a nano test editor. So we can use a nano test editor. So with help of the nano test editor, we can create the a file and we can just save the content also inside of the file. Okay. So you can just write whatever you message you want to write. So you can just do that. So now, so sam.txt is all save that content. Okay. So you can just use a nano. You can just modify your file whenever you want. Okay. So you can just add new content or so you can just modify the existing content. Okay. So you can do whatever you want. And you can just use Control X to exit from that file. And it will ask you, do you want to save or no? Yes or no? You can say yes, and you can save that file. Okay. So, but you want to save the duplicate copy with some modifications, some extra content. So that when you are trying to save yes, now you can use a file name change. You can change the file name. That content will save file under different name. Yes. So you are not modifying the original file. You are using a original file to create the another file with the changes. So you can use that. Okay. So you can just see the you can see two different files. Is it clear? So we can use a command copy, move command so those file things we can do. Now I have sam.txt in my desktop. I want to so copy this one to the home folder or so documents folder or downloads folder, any other folder if I want to do. I can do that simply. So I need to understand the structure so my system structure is by default. Okay. I currently logged into the home sysadmin user, so that particular is my home directory path. So now you can see that I'm in a desktop in that particular user account. So now I have I want to move files to the downloads. Okay. Copy the files to the documents. So do whatever you want so, but understand the destination path, source path. Now source path is this one, after this your home directory, so your desktop. Now you have a shortcut. Tilde character represent the home directory or not. Even you can use the shortcut ones. It means so when you are trying to mention that, for example, now I'm mentioning so till CP copy. So tilde character home directory automatically inside of the desktop. Now sam.txt. Okay, so you can use that. Now so tilde character downloads. Now you can see that it is copied successfully. So if you have a doubt, you can verify that. So that tilde character is already representing the home directory. So you can use this. So this shortcut also. Or you can mention the complete. Okay, so complete path. Okay, so you can mention the complete path also. So we can just mention the complete path. Okay, so now for example, so I want a copy home sysadmin desktop. Okay, sam2.txt. Now so home. In the place of the tilde character, you can mention your home directory path properly. So now it is. You can see the path. So those files are copied. Those two files are copied successfully to the my downloads. Now I want to move them. Okay, so I can just use the mv command. Okay, do you know if your source path and destination path is same? Okay, if your source path and destination path is same path, now it is going to be treated as so rename. Okay, so now it is going to be a rename. Now sam.txt became a samantha.txt. Renaming. mv command you can use for rename purpose. If your source path and destination path is same, in that case we can do that. But if your source path destination path is different, it is going to be more to that path. Now so now mv sam2.txt. Now I'm trying to mention that I want to move this one to the my documents folder. Now see this, it is moved to the documents folder. So we can verify that instruction to see that is it moved to the documents or not. We have evidence. Already I told you can use a tilde character shortcut or full path. It's up to you. Okay. So you can just do that so you can just easily can move to the any path. So I have a file a samantha.txt. Now I'm trying to create the one folder mkdir. So sample folder. Now I have a sample folder on samantha.txt. Now I'm just moving that samantha.txt to the sample folder. Now it is in a sample folder. Now you can see that our file is in a sample folder. Now I want to copy the folder. If I want to copy the folder, it's a recursive mode you have to use. Now your CP doesn't accept for the folder copying. Okay. So whenever you want to copy that folder, that empty folder is not able to copy because this one has a files also. It's not empty folder, non-empty folder. Okay. So it requires like a recursive. Now if you want to try to copy to the any path in your system, now it is saying that -r is not specified. You should mention the -r. CP -r. So you should mention the -r. Now it is just like a successfully copied to the home directory. So now like so documents like a directory can see that sample folder is copied. Got it? Now I want to like a move. For the move we don't need anything. We don't need anything. Just like a simple move we can do that. So you can just like a move simply to the like a folder. You can now try to move to the downloads. Now you can see that like so in our tree structure we can see within a downloads part. See the sample folder also. So we have a structure. Like already explained that in our last class. So ls you can see the like our home path. ls command or tree command. Okay, if you enter without specifying any path, consider the current path. But if you provide the path, any specific path, that path related details it will display to you. So ls command, tree command use in that way. So based upon even. Now I want to view like my home directory files. So ls command is just displaying the like basic details only. So now I'm using ls. I'm trying to see the like a home system. Only I can see the folders, but not their subfolders. But not their subfolders, right? So but if I use a tree structure, I can see the complete subfolders also. The structure will be visible to you properly. So that's why I prefer to use a tree comparing with the ls. So they have a different purpose. I want to see the only current structure enough, not the inside substructure. Then ls is enough to you. But you want to see the current like a substructure, the complete tree structure. If you want to see, use the tree. Okay, so tree command is this one. So ls command like a so tree command both will allow us to mention the path. If we use the ls and tree, simply connect directly by default without mentioning any one. So it is going to be considered. So mkdir like so already we discussed, rmdir already we discussed. And like so you can just like see the like copy, okay, move kind of points like so we use like a concept like copy and the move. So like so source path I mentioned like my desktop. Okay, for example, if it is a source path, hello.txt file is a source and destination is the downloads. Now if I copy, directly it will go to the source path you need to mention, destination path you need to mention. So move, you can do the same without any changes. So src and destination. But if you want to rename, source and destination is same. So now src and src. This source is same, destination also same. Okay, that time it will rename them. Okay, now same way folder also. But folder, especially when you are trying to move the folder, you have to mention copy the folder. You have to use a -r. For move, you don't need. Only for copy. Okay, so you can just like so do that. Now, if you want like create the like file, you can create the like so file simply like a touch for the empty file. You can use a nano for like so creating file and like editing file. Okay, deleting content inside of that file and everything. So if you want to remove any file, you can use the like rm. But if you want to remove the folder, -r you need to mention. For example, now I have a like files. So say that like I'm in a like a tree folder, sysadmin. Now I want to move to the like a downloads. If I want to move to the downloads, what is the command we use? cdm, right? Change directory. So cd we can use. Now you can mention the path where you want to move. Now I want to move to the downloads. Now see this, I'm in a desktop to the downloads. Okay, now like I have a like a ls. So now I have a sample folder. I want to remove that like a RM. So sample, if I give that like a, so it is going to be show the error. It is a directory, not empty. If it is empty RMDIR, you can use. But this folder has a files. Now you need to use the -r. Recursive option is required. So if you mention the -r only, it will remove. So without any error, so it is removed successfully. So remove like a required for the folders -r option. Copy required -r option. Only remove and copy only required -r option. Don't forget. When you are dealing with the folders, when you are trying to copy the folder, -r extra option required. When you are trying to like a remove, -r extra required. Because that is a folder has a recursively multiple files or multiple folders inside of them. అర్థమవుతుందా? So you need that option. Fine. So remove related. Okay. So whenever you are trying to deal with the files, okay, so we can deal with the files, okay, files related operations we should learn properly. Let's like all of you open your command prompt. So open your command prompt like so we'll quickly like revise like dealing with the text to files commands. Okay. Now you can use the cat command, am I right, for reading the file? You can use the cat command to reading the files, am I right? So now you are trying to read the like the file, etc pass wd file, cat command. So cat command can allow us to read the file. So if you want to read the any text file or any file, so you can use the cat command. But cat command is displaying complete content. I want to read the top 10 lines or bottom 10 lines. What is the command we use? 10. Already we discussed about this. Cat will give the access to the top 10 lines. Okay. So now 10 lines I want to read. 10. So you can just like use the head. You can read the top 10 lines. But I want to mention the like a lights. You can mention the number of lights also. Life again. Okay, only one light. Okay, so 10 lights or 11 lights or like 15 lines. Number you can mention. How many lights you want? From top to bottom. You are reading in the document top to bottom. Okay, so top 1 line, top 10 lines, top 15 lines, top 20 lines. Whenever you are trying to read the specific content from the text to file, specific number of lines content, then you can use this concept. Is it clear? Yeah? So now I want to deal with the bottom, like so to top, bottom to top, tail. Already we discussed about this one also. I'm trying to recap. Okay. So tail command we can use. Okay, so you can try like a tail command. So when you are using a tail command also you can mention the number of lines if you want. So do you want like a so only number, okay, from the like a bottom, like you want like a only like a from the bottom line, like so last line if you want to read. So tail command you are using, last line you are reading. So now from the bottom like so like from the bottom, like so bottom, top. Okay, so bottom 5 if you want to read. Okay, so you can read that. So head command, tail command, and allow you to read the specific number of lines from the bottom to top, or like so, or top to bottom, so you can read in a text. Is it clear? So you already know those commands. You already know the cat uses. You already know the head and tail uses. Okay. So we have a few more extra commands also when you are trying to read the files. Okay. So we have a less command and more command also. So one of my favorite command is like a less command. So this is going to be help you to read any document. So in our page wise. Now see that like so I can see the like this is like open a document. Now I can read the document properly in a terminal, and I can scroll up and scroll down. Properly I can see that. You know sometimes what happens like our terminal when you use a cat command, it will print out the page. A page is like a more content. Now, if your terminal can't able to display the whole document to you, because our terminals has a specific number of lines output, default number of lines. Now, after that, like you can't able to read, even like you can't able to scroll up or down. So, if there is a big points, better to read with the less command, because this less command can help you to scroll on the document. You can scroll up and you can scroll down. Even you can use the forward slash and you can search for the any page. Now I want to search for the keyword root. Just use the forward slash and search for the word. It is going to be highlighted for you that whole document. That my point. So you can just like so press the G lowercase G. It will go to the top of the document. Shift to G, it will go to the bottom of the document. Shortcuts we have. Guys are able to follow me. So you can just like a search for the content, you can go to the top and you can go to the bottom. It's comfortable with you. So you can just like us so do that. So whenever you want to close this is you are like a scrolling up and down within a document. So your terminal is blocked. If you want to like a close that file, we have to press the Q. Q for quit. So you have to press the Q for quit, okay? So it will close the document. Clear everyone? Similar to the less command, we have a more command also. So more command you can use. So more command is going to be help you to like read the document, but percentage wise. How much percentage of the document loaded, it can see that. Now, so how much it is loaded, like a 40% is loaded. Now you can press enter. You can just like go through the line by line read, you can read. Okay. So once like 100% document is like over, it is going to be exit from the document. Now, previous one like so we have to like exit manually, but this one automatically exits from that. Okay. Just keep like a you can just like you are reading page 1, page 2, page 3 like that. So cat command can't able to handle the big size files. Cat command can't able to handle the big size files. Those times like we use the less command and more command. That makes it. So when you are dealing with the text to files, you should understand okay how to deal with it. So we have like a different commands. So what are the popular commands we have? So we can deal with the cat command, more command, less command, head command, tail command. So those are things you can do. But sometimes you can have an interest to filter the content in a document. Search for the specific word in the document. So you can use the grep. Grep we used in the last class alright. To search for the like users group, pseudo group in a group file or not. Just like that. So you can use the like a grep command. Okay. So grep command can help you to filter the content. Now I want to like see the like root word we have in a etc pass wd file. That root word. Only wherever that root word matches, that line only will highlight for you. That particular line only highlighted for you. Okay. You can just like so you are searching in the same way. We have a pseudo user or not like so which is like a pseudo in a group like we are searching pseudo group related details. Certain user. So the user is a part of the pseudo group. So in a group configuration file, we are trying to read like a pseudo group like a users group. Guys are able to follow me. So grep command can help you to search for the specific kind of content. Grep follow the even regular expressions also. It means you can mention the like a pattern. If this is starting with this character, ending with this character, or this is like in between those starting character is this one, ending character is this one, like a middle ending character. Regular expressions we can use. Grep uses the great utility used by the administrators in Linux and even hackers also whenever they need. Clear everyone? So use. Word search. Sometimes like extracting content from the documents is really important. What extract the content from the document is really important. But most of the documents can have a data in a like a columns files in a Linux. Linux like a store the configurations files with a like a column files. Okay, with some delimiters. For example, now if I read the users list in a cat btc path wd file. Say that like a so users list we have. This users list column wise we have a first username colon something colon something colon something colon like that. It means like how we have a Excel sheets in a Windows. Same way Linux system configuration files follow the similar kind of structure, but with the help of the delimiters. They know how to read your configuration files. Is able to follow me. So they don't use a comma, they prefer to use like a colon. Some places, okay, so some places like a space they prefer to use. Now I want to extract the only users list from them. It means first column only. See, we have a multiple column. Colon, 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 you can see that. Before colon, after colon, we have a value submit. Now I want to filter the only first, okay, column before colon whatever we I want to gain that data. So this is a really company you need to like a copy that file and you need to open in a test editor, you have to delete everything am I right? But we have a command like a cut command that will help you to cut the content and extract the specific content you want. Okay. In Linux we have a great utilities for the dealing with the text. Okay, so whenever we are trying to write the automated things, like so if you are interested also, okay, you can just like use this kind of utilities part of your logic. Run my. So it will extract only that specific content for you, not everything. Clear everyone? Okay. So now like I want to like extract that. So we have a, like a command, but okay, you have to mention the delimiter. So what is the delimiter? Colon. Now you are file. Say that I am able to read the field one on that file. So I can give the field numbers. Field 1, field 2, field 3 like that. Now you have like a users list. You can extract this users list. Even you can use that list for the brute force attacks. That's my point. So specific field you can extract. Okay, specific field you can extract. So see that, understand the concept. It's a cut command. You are mentioning the delimiter as per the file content. And you are mentioning the field of field 1. Okay, now I want to read the like a field 1, 2, 3. Or like a field 1 and field 3. Then you can just mention the option. So now, comma. You can use the 3. Now field 1 and field 1, field 3. Field 1, field 3. You can see the structure. Now you want like a range. Field 1 to field 4. Range you can give. Not comma. That particular part. Useful. That is like that. So that command we can use to extract the content required for us. So you can extract the specific content with the help of the delimiter. Clear everyone? So when you are dealing with the text files, you can deal with the text files in that way. So we have that concept. So yesterday I shared the commands list. In that command list, you can find the cut command like a so utility usage also. Okay, fine. One more great thing on Linux is like so you can combine the multiple commands. We can combine the multiple commands at a time. For example, now I'm reading the like a file. etc pass WD file I'm reading. So in this like a result, like I want like extend the only like a one line with the word root. Now I can use that pipe symbol. I can use the like a root keyword. Now first to command like a return output. That output send as a input to the next command. This pipe symbol indicates that this is the output. This command output sending as an input to this command. That might. Now you are reading, sending. So basically, you don't need to do that. Grip root is like a working in that way only. So it is equivalent to that. Default, by default, it is running like this. This is equivalent to this command guys. Guys are able to follow me. So you can filter your things. For example, now I'm trying to read the files. Okay, it is a path.wd file I'm trying to read. Okay, so I'm getting a content. Now I'm sending this content to the next one. So I want like a see that like a, so this is the like a display like did I get any number of lines? No. I want like a get the number of lines. You can use that. We can pass this output as an input and like a count, return the number of lines with the NL. Now two commands are combined. So now NL display the number of lines. See how many number of lines I have? 49. See the number wise it is displayed. They are able to follow me. See, do you have a number of line numbers in inside of the document? No. You are able to like add in a display point of view. Okay. Now I want like a see before giving a numbering, like I want to sort the content. Say this is a returning. Is it in a sequence order? Alphabetical? No. Say this root in a top. So it's not in a like a sequence. Okay, you can use a sorting technique. So you can pass your command. Next to that you can pass the sort. Now it is going to be sort. Like say this A is in a first. Sorting order. Guys are able to follow me. You can do the sorting. For example, sometimes we can have a duplicates in a duplicate content we can have in a file. That time you can use a unique cookie. You can get the unique cookie. Let me try one more file. Nano.txt. Okay. I'm not in a desktop. Let me go to the desktop. Nano.txt. Now, so we have like those many lines. There is some duplicate codes. Now I'm trying to like read hello.txt. It is displaying that content. Now I want like sort that content. No, it is order. Now I don't want like a duplicate. Now combine the you can see the guru word is 3 times. Now it is written only one time. So you can get the like unique values. So we can use like a additional commands. Okay, for example, I want to read how many words I have in this document right now. So I can just like use the like a word WC, word count. Now it will display that like this. How many lines we have? 13 lines. First one is the lines. Second one is the words. 12 words. 95. That is the like bytes of information. Bytes of information. Also 13 lines we have. If you have a doubt, let me try. So you have like a so why it's showing like a 13 extra space is there. There are many extra space is considered as over 13. Okay. So we can just like count that, okay? Something is there. So So word count we can have like that. Word count we can have like that. So we have like options like that. You can just like play with the test like this. So we have like options. You can try with those options also. I given like a sample command, sort, unique, print the number of lines, word count, WC data. Clear everyone? Guys are able to follow me. So in a Linux systems or Windows system, whatever command output we have, that command output you can save it to the file. For example, now I executed one command. I want to save that command into the file. I can say. So now I'm typing like a tree command. Home sysadmin. Now tree structure I have. This is the output I'm getting in a terminal. This output you can save into the files. Where we use this part of our work, when we are like trying to execute our tool related commands, we need to record that one for the reporting purpose. And now whatever output you are getting in a terminal, if you save in a file, it is useful to you for the reference later. Right? You can attach as a proof. Right? So we needed that redirection method. So our computers have a standard input, standard output, and standard errors. This process we have in a command line interface. So standard input, it means now your input is like you are typing a command, that is the input field. This is a standard input. We are typing input. Now this is the standard output. Standard output. But sometimes like we give the like a wrong digits. Now standard error. You will get the standard error. Okay. So those three things we have. So in our OS concepts, they are supporting redirection. It means whatever like error you will get or whatever output you will get, you can redirect that into the one file for the logs. That redirection concept we have. Now your command output you can store in a file with a redirection concept. Is it clear? Now all of you start working on that. Let's use the command like so. Free home / sysadmin. Now redirection. If you use the symbol, okay, the symbol can help you. Now it's a tree output is saved or not like complete. Now if you read that cat space that file. Now say that like so that output we have in that file. We try to redirect our command output into that file. Now that file, that content we have are not. See this? It means whatever command is generated output, that output is successfully redirected to the file or not. So when you are using this method, there is a one drawback. It is going to be used to override the data. For example, same file you already have. Now it will delete that file. It will override with your new file. Okay, let's try another command with the same name. Now let's send the another command output. Okay, so now send the my command output to the same file name. So do you have like the same previous content still you have a deleted? Please check. So whenever you read that like a previous file, so you got the content number, right? But now like so we are trying to like set the UMI into the same file name. Now only UMI output you can see that. Am I right? Content is like a so to override. So if you read this file, like we don't have any output command output. It is deleted and it is replaced with this command output. Clear everyone? like hackers, when they want like automate their activities, that time whatever commands they executed, every command output they will try to like write into the file for the log. Now only it is overwriting a right? How it will work. So they don't use this only redirection. Redirection with the appending method they use. Appending method means just use the two icons. Sorry, not two icons. Like this. Same symbol, two types. It is appending method. It means in a single file you can store multiple commands later. Now if you read that output file, you can see the two commands output, you can see the first like a so who am I output? Next. Real command output. So multiple commands you can just like multiple commands like output you can send to the same file. Now I'm trying to send the like a cat etc fast downloading. You see that like that file content also. It's now I want to extract the only usernames. Now so we use like a cat command. If you remember cut command we use to read the like a specific first field one with the username. Now only field one is displaying the username. Now I can read that this command output into the file or not. Users.txt I can prepare, am I right? So again, so it means your command output you can save it to the file. Now so users.txt I successfully extracted only usernames from this system. Now only those are users for this. Okay. To the file, so you can store that command output for your reference data. You can just do the operations. Is it clear? I'll ask you. Understand the concept? So this is related to the file system management part. So files related operations. There is a one more thing we didn't discuss. One files related and code related permissions we didn't discuss. We have a files and folders permissions also. Sometimes like this, you don't have a read access. You don't able to read them. Sometimes you don't have a write access. You can't able to write anything on that. So how administrator restrict that, how hacker try to change that. We'll talk about that later. Clear everyone? So we'll discuss that thing also. We'll discuss what are the important folders we have in our Linux system, where logs are going to be stored, where configuration files are going to be stored, so where website related source code is deployed, and everything we'll discuss in detail. Linux file system, important directories, and their files and folders related permissions, how we can manipulate their permissions. Fine. So let's we continue. Yesterday we started discussion on the servers concept. Right? So what we did, we created like a service. What is the service name? Apache Ruby install. What is the web service manager? Right? And we created like a so even SSH also, right? SSH we install for remote access. Okay. So now let's open your lab environment. So check your settings. I recommended to use the bridge adapter yesterday. Are you still in a bridge adapter with a MAC address or new MAC address allocation? Then fine. So we are going to be do the same thing to the our okay, yeah, but our system is communicate. So we can check the IP address. Now I can see the my IP address 192.168.0.188. This is my IP address. Now this assume this is my server IP address, my Ubuntu server IP address. Now my client is, I'm treating my system. Parrot Security OS as a client. All of you please, so go to your VirtualBox manager. You have a Parrot Security OS. So first of all, change the Parrot Security OS settings also. So what you need to change related to the Parrot Security OS? Same network settings. So you have to change the network settings related to the Parrot OS. So you have to change the so to the bridge adapter, random the MAC address. So when you are in a bridge adapter, you will get the IP address from your Wi-Fi address, Wi-Fi router. Okay. So we need a Wi-Fi related IP address. So please change your settings. Just a minute, let me join again. Is not responding. So we are using Parent Security OS and Ubuntu both in a bridge adapter. Okay. So when you use a bridge adapter, like it is like going to be become a part of your Wi-Fi network. Or you can create the isolated network also. Isolated network. It means completely can isolate that those virtual machines from the your Wi-Fi network, but it can create the one separate network for them. Okay. So now temporarily I'm trying to show you how to like connect to the your Wi-Fi network. So we have to use a bridge adapter in a network settings bridge adapter. So please like randomize the MAC address. Okay. And like same settings to the parent also. So if you have like a 8 GB RAM in your system, like allocate the 2 GB RAM to the like parent, 2 GB RAM to the Ubuntu. So don't like go more than 50%. Always like below 50% only our virtualization you need to use. Okay. And if you have a 16 GB, fine. 2 GB is for you to like Ubuntu. Okay, 3 to 4 GB to the even parent. Okay. So use that because by default I'm using like 8 GB in my system I have program. So don't expect same thing, don't allocate in your system. Parent by default has a 8 GB whenever I give it. You have to change that plan. Don't open as this. It is going to be crashing. Okay. So please change the parent security settings RAM. Parent and Ubuntu. Okay. RAM related settings and network related settings, please change. Okay. So now all of you launch your Ubuntu and the parent security OS. Will understand the client server architecture. So how client and server can communicate each other. How hackers use the same knowledge to attack other servers. Now your parent security OS is the attacker machine. Okay. So you are attacking from the parent security OS. Parent security OS, Kali Linux OS, both are same. Okay. But parent security OS is a more beginner friendly comparing with the Kali. Kali is for professionals. Okay, not for the beginners. Okay, once you are comfortable with the hacking tools and everything, later you can move to the Kali Linux. Now let's do the practice from the parent security OS. Clear? Now please check the parent security OS also has a terminal, just like our Ubuntu. You can right click on your desktop and you can open the terminal, or you have a terminal icon also at the top of the screen. Top panel has a terminal icon. Okay. So now just type the ping space your IP address. What is the IP address you got for the your you have a Ubuntu machine, am I right? In a Ubuntu machine, when you type the IP space here, you got the IP address, am I right? So you enter that IP address. Ping space IP address. So just like you need to type the IP address and enter. So it will display the response. Okay. If you are getting 64 bytes from the IP address, it means you have a connectivity. Ping space check your connectivity between your parent to the Ubuntu machine. If you don't have a connectivity between there, you can't able to do the practice. Check the connectivity first. So your parent security OS default username is hacker, password is also hacker. Please log in with that. So now in a parent, like you can see the like a terminal icon, browser icon. You can open the browser. You can open your terminal, or you open the terminal in a desktop. So you have to type the ping space IP address of your Ubuntu machine. Okay. To check the connectivity right now. Okay. So did you check that like you are getting a reply? Now if you are getting a reply, like just then type the command. You use the ping command to check the connection, am I right? Now check that system is server or not by typing nmap space IP address. Just like I interrupt that, use Control C to stop that command execution. Now your ping request is going on, am I right? So use the Control C to stop that. So you will get the IP address from your Wi-Fi network in a Ubuntu machine. Okay, so you have to check that connectivity first. Okay, use the ping command. Check that IP address is responding to you or not. If you are getting like 64 bytes from the IP address, it means you have a connectivity. Now use Control C to stop that ping request. Okay. Now type nmap space IP address. Nmap space IP address. Nmap space your target IP address. Your Ubuntu IP address. Now check is it displaying the services names or not. If your system is running services, it will display to you. In the last class, you installed Apache 2 SSH, am I right? You should get the HTTP and SSH. So please check that. So please check that. Now, see this as a hacker, you are able to figure out what kind of service is running on that computer or not. Just one command is giving it to you. Did you ask that user? Without knowing the like a user IP address, you don't need even. I will show you how to find the IP addresses also. Just now I'm giving information to you. We don't need even like ask their IP address. We can figure out their IP address. We can figure out their services also. Okay. Now just understand. If you know the IP address of a person, you can scan that IP address with the nmap. You can identify they are running services. Now what are the services running? You are able to see that SSH and HTTP, which is installed yesterday in that Ubuntu machine. So administrator configured Ubuntu machine as a web server. That's why you can see the HTTP service. And you enable the even remote access also, SSH. Am I right? You have SSH or not? Now if you have SSH, what you can do? You can remotely connect to that machine or not? How can you remotely connect? SSH space, type that SSH space sysadmin@IP address. Yesterday we took a remote access, am I right? Check you can remotely get connected. Yesterday we used command like so SSH space sysadmin @ your target mission IP address. Whenever you press enter, it is asking yes or no, right? If you say yes, it is asking for the password or not. Type yes. And it is asking for enter and asking for the password. You know the password, target password, sysadmin. Enter that, check you are getting connection or not. Sysadmin @ So SSH command required SSH username @ IP. Enter the password. So you already know that username and password and IP address. That's why you are able to do this. Now you hacker, if you want to know the password, you need to do the brute force. You got the connection or not? Now do you want to know how to do the brute force? Find the password. Now exit from that shell. You know the connection. But if you know the username, password, IP address, you can remotely connect to that machine or not. You know the process, am I right? How to remotely connect to the machine? But you need to know the process of finding password. Is it clear? Now finding password is a dead easy process. Now type the command nmap space exit from that connection. Just I verified you are able to communicate up. Okay. Let me quickly show you my system. See. Okay guys, see my system. So I have IP address 192.168.0.235. I'm able to send a ping request to that IP address. Now I'm able to scan with the nmap. Did I find anything? No services found for me because that Ubuntu machine is not running any kind of server services. If I install the server services only, I can find them. Sudo apt install. So if administrator of the server install some services, as a hacker you can discover. Okay. Now if we install Apache 2 and SSH kind of sub services in the install. Now that service is going to be run on that computer. Whenever you discover that computer in the network, you can scan that IP address, you can find the services also. As of now, no services, because installation is going on. See this? Now SSH is ready. SSH we discovered. SSH, HTTP also. So administrator is installing the services. As a hacker, you can discover the service. Now it's a HTTP. It means web browser based. Okay, you can HTTP. You know that HTTP protocol you can access in a browser or not? You can see their website. Now their web page is running. Okay. Now you can see that they are running SSH. You need to perform the brute force attack to find the credentials. How to perform the brute force attack? Very simple, nmap command only. Just mention the sudo space. Sudo means administrator privileges. Nmap. What is the port number we have? What is the port number we have for the SSH? 22. So you have to mention that. -P means port. Now 22 port. Okay. Now we are going to be mention the script. What is the script? SSH brute. Please all of you try this process. So you are trying to brute force attack. brute force is started attack. Okay. Now understand the command. Only you need to change your IP address. I entered my IP address in that place. You need to enter your IP address, your target IP address. So enter your Ubuntu machine IP address in this command, please. I mentioned my IP address, mention your IP address. What we are trying, we discovered that they have a like SSH service is running. That SSH service related brute force script we are running. Now this script start like attacking with a different credits. What is the brute force? For example, a thief want to enter into the house. He observed that house is locked. Okay, what he will do? He will get the like a collection of keys, am I right? He will try with the like unlocking the lock with the like one by one key. But if any one key works, he is able to unlock and enter into that house or not? Same way. See, hackers, they don't find the flaws first. They will find the weaknesses. Okay, just like a misconfigurations first. See, if don't open the window directly, you don't like enter by using other flaws. First, they will try to check he is able to unlock that. Because sometimes guessable password, sometimes guessable key will work. That's my point. So yesterday I am working on one of my client projects. I found like they enable the remote access service in their computer, VLC service. I tried to connect to that. It is asking password. You know, like in my third guess, I found the password. I got access to his computer. Remote access. Because people keep the password, guessable passwords. That's my point. Okay. Now you are attacking with a list of the popular username password combinations you are trying out. Now, if this attack successful, you will get the credentials. Once you get the credentials, you will get the access to the target machine or not. So that is good. Okay. So let's wait for the result. Okay, it will take some time because of brute force. Okay, so based upon your system performance, like so based upon the server response time, okay, it takes time for you. Clear everyone? That attack alage chestu unnadi వదిలేని go back to the Ubuntu. We can have a point. We'll set up the web server in a Ubuntu. Okay. This attack is going on. Okay. So in our Ubuntu machine, we installed Apache. We are getting Apache default home page. I will show you how administrators, okay, update the source code in a web server. Okay. So go to the like your Ubuntu machine. You can create the one phishing web page also yourself. You can deploy. Okay. Just like so first of all, like switch to the sudo space su. You already know that. You have to switch to the root. So we are switch in a Ubuntu machine, not in a parent. Okay. Your server machine. Sudo space su. Switch to the root. Now cd space var www html. Please move to that path. This is a variable directory. So variable data we have in our computer, Linux computer. That data directory where www World Wide Web HTML. That is the path where you can upload your HTML source code, your website source code. Now type ls. See that there is a index.html file. That is the default home page you have. That default home page is visible to the others whenever they access your IP address. So please access your IP address from your main system or your parent. Access JLD. So parent నుంచి కానీ లేదా మీ మెయిన్ సిస్టమ్ నుంచి కానీ ఐపీని బ్రౌజర్ యాక్సెస్ చేసి చూడండి. You will get the home page, default web server home page. So don't get the confusion. I'm just trying to show you the administrator perspective. Okay, if administrator enables the service, how you manage the services. Okay, SSH, remote access, Apache Apache 2, web access. Now in a web access, they will deploy the website source code and we'll create one sample HTML file and deploy and we'll see that that server is like updating or not. Okay. Now if admin is like our status update is web-based source code, is it visible to you to the hackers or others users or not? We'll see that scenario. Okay. So when you are visiting, so you have to type cd space /var. Now in our Ubuntu machine, like a terminal, move to this path. So after that, after moving to that path, type ls and see that there is index.html or not.
Oh, sorry.
Index.html.
Oh,
Got it? Now remove that index.html. RM comment. So type ls and see that there is index.html file or not. If we have that, remove that.